All right, guys, this is the deal about compression. You really only have to think about one thing. Well, I guess two things with compression. Number one, that it's turned on, that you're using it. And number two, you watch the threshold. I'm going to tell you what the other stuff means in this video, but you shouldn't need to change it because it's already preset. So let's talk about what compression is. I think compression is pretty important. It cleans up the sound. You know what? I guess I would say it's not that important. Like I would put EQ, reverb, subs and reverb, I say, super important, then EQ. So I would put compression a little down the priority list. You can mix without it, but man, when you have it on, it really cleans a lot of things up. So I guess what it really does, the most important thing that it does is kind of like the wild notes. So I'm singing this song, right? Yes, I will sing for joy when my heart... Hear those? I punched those a little bit, and it got a little too loud, right? Compression's going to pull those back a little bit. That's our goal. If it's overly compressed, it'll sound like this. Yes, I will. Right? That's an overly kind of compressed sound. So what is compression? Compression says you set the threshold, which is a certain dB level, and as the sound gets louder and approaches that threshold, compression is going to start to turn it down manually. It's going to pull back on that sound. And it starts just a little bit at first, but man, once you start to get to that specific volume level that you set, that dB level, it's really going to pull back. When you go past that volume level and you get really loud, it's going to pull back even more. So the ratio is how much it pulls back. Let's look on here. Okay, so look at my channel. So this is the voice I'm talking right now. A really good ratio is 3. Sometimes you could mess with that, but I like to keep it on 3. I think we have our drums set on 4. There's one other example I'll talk to you later. Okay, attack, I always like a 0 attack. Attack would mean like a delay. The compression's gonna wait to kick in. So you would get kind of attack, and then it comes in like that. So I like my attacks at 0. Hold, maybe a short hold is okay. Kind of once it compresses and starts to take things out. See that red is the compression. It's going to hold it, and then it's going to start to get less compression. And then the release, I like a medium to long release. I like it about 250. And then gain, that's not a function of compression, but it's a byproduct. We set ours at 0. We don't use this, but you could use it. I mean, don't, but you could, like, theoretically in your home studio. So with compression, we're making this voice softer, and so it's like a makeup gain. So it's going to turn it up after the compression, just to compensate for all that you're pulling back. Okay, so here's the long and short. I should have included this at the beginning, so you don't have to watch the whole video. I want you just to keep a watch on how much is being pulled back. See the red? That's what I want you to look at. So that's pretty good. About 4 dB would be good for the peaks, right? When it's softer. I count on one thing, the same God who never fails. That's not pulling back very much. And then the chorus, yes, I will sing for joy when my heart. That's pretty good. It's a little bit on the cuff side. You don't even have to do it on the screen. I want you to do it right down there. See that? Yes, I will. 2 lights. The top light means that it's on. So we'll turn it off. Oh, that's not good. We want to make sure it's turned on, remember? And then we want to monitor that. Yes, I will. 2 on the chorus. The 3rd blinking is good. Here's how you adjust the threshold right here. So if I turn the threshold down, it's going to compress a lot and start to, right? Look at this. Yes, I will. See that? And then it just gradually pulls back. That's the release, by the way. Slow and pull back. I like the slow. It's a sort of a medium release. Okay, and then if the threshold's too high, all right, it's not going to pull back anything at all. Maybe a little bit there. Is it pulling back any? Right there. There we go. Now it's pulling back just a little bit, but not quite enough, because you see it's just the one. You can hear how much louder my voice got, right? Yes, I will adjust the threshold so it's right in the right place. Yeah, so most singers will be about the same, but occasionally you have maybe a softer singer and the compression doesn't engage. That's okay. Look out for the loud singers. I'm actually probably a loud singer. You don't want it so that it's overly compressed. Just keep an eye on it. But you want to look at the instruments too. Look at the drums. The drums are going to be a little tricky because they're pretty percussive. So just make sure they're not overly compressed. One other setting for compression that I want to talk about, they'll probably make another video about this altogether, but is the video, okay, the stream. And you need to monitor this a lot with the stream. So every time you check it, check the stream. I put a compressor on here. Let's see, is this it? Yeah, so it has a really high ratio, and that means that when the stream starts to get really loud, it's the point here, and this does have actually a makeup gain. So I'm using it more as a limiter, and what that's doing, I'll tell you in the other video, is to bring it up to a certain broadcast level. Actually, that's the input level. You have to be monitoring it over here, or hitting the solo button. Like if you put the headphones on and check it, there, that's what you want, the solo button. Right, but we're going to talk about that in the other video, but that makeup gain is going to pull that up to like a broadcast level, which is just shy of clipping. And that way, when we send to the video stream is a good solid signal. And if it gets too loud, we want to prevent that clipping going to the red. And that's why it has a 10 ratio to just sort of pull it back right when it gets up to the top. Very common for TV broadcast video to have this really strong compressor right when it gets at the top. Just make sure it's configured the right way. You can do it by adjusting the threshold, I guess, or the makeup gain. You may want less of that. If it's too loud, a little bit more of that. If it's not quite loud enough, you get the idea. Hopefully that makes sense. Compression is a little weird. You got to practice it some.